recording is on.
All right.
And we're live.
Echo there. Yep. So I don't know if you have been on the recording when I've mentioned this before, but back in the day, none of the ones I listen to now do this, but there seemed to be a lot of podcasts that would do this, like they would talk about their beer or like their coffee or some sort of like drink of the week, and then and then like people would like occasionally, like listeners would like send them like, oh, here's a beer from my local brewery you should check out and stuff. And I've always wanted to do that. Like, I like trying out new stuff. I always thought that was cool. So today, and like I don't always think of it, but today we ordered this Easter brunch thing for tomorrow, and it came with a mimosa mix of orange juice and grapefruit juice, and then it's got this a Vizzy Prosecco. He gave us like 3 little bottles of these bad boys. I don't know how big this is, but I suspect 3 bottles is quite a lot of. It's 11.5. It's 187 milliliters. I have no idea what that translates into freedom units, but yeah, it's an Italian prosecco. But my wife and I don't really drink, but one of our friends got us these. It might be hard to tell in the light that we've got, but they're engraved with our names, and then there's a cat on each one of them as well. These champagne glasses as a wedding gift, which we've never used, and so I've got this prosecco to drink. So that's my drink this time, the prosecco. So we'll see how that goes. I don't drink very often, but I have all those like Northern European genes of, like, you know, my ancestors pretty much like survived on fermented foods throughout the like desolate winters that are snow covered. So I never have any problems with alcohol, but we'll see how this goes if I plow through all this prosecco that I've got, because 3 bottles at 11.5% might do me in. So
yeah.
So I do have some stuff ready to go. I don't know if you have anything ready to go.
I don't have anything quite yet, but I will here shortly. So if you wanna kick things off, that's fine with me.
Yeah, and I just switched my mic, so hopefully I don't sound like garbage anymore. I was running off.
You suddenly went to sounding like crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's like you became HD.
Yeah, well, I switched to the headset mic instead of the laptop mic. The laptop mic was probably fine, except I can hear the fan buzzing, and so we were probably getting a lot of fan action in there too. All right, so this is got quite the long title here. This is off the latest Cloud Warmer album. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if it's the latest, because Eddie Palmer seems to put out a new album like every week.
Every other minute.
But this was uploaded to YouTube on March 29th. So, and the album was released on March 28th. So, I think that was since last show. It's new. It's new by any measure. Whether it's the newest, I don't even know. But it's probably the newest. This is I think a lot of the tracks on this are kind of long, so we'll cut this off towards the end. But this is Chemtrails Over My Art Deco Environmentally Sustainable Mansion in the Hollywood Hills.
Oh, I get where he's going from.
Who are you in Texas? I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business. And I remember that in my conscience, it's so alive in me, even just recalling it. I remember that I had gone so far and there was no turning back, that even if I had wanted to run, even if I had wanted to live, I couldn't. It was like I was caught in something that I had no control over. I had absolutely no say-so as to what was happening, and I was just like a tool in the hands of the devil. It's the only way I can put it.
So I totally forgot about cutting it. I was messaging Sam and writing back to the email thread and checking in on Potsy. Just yeah, the multitask. I was in the groove.
Yeah, no worries. Actually, I enjoyed the tune, so I'm kind of glad personally that you didn't cut it.
Yeah, and it's not like it was 12 minutes long. It was 5 minutes and 41 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, that wasn't worth cutting anyhow. So I think if you don't care, I'm probably going to do the same thing with this one. It's over 5 minutes, but it's under 6.
Yeah.
And this is something I haven't even heard it yet. This actually, I guess it's brand new as well. And it just got passed my way. I just got it today, oddly enough.
Nice.
Yeah. Number of things were tossed my way of like, Al, this is up your alley. Check this out. So I haven't checked this out yet. I just knew it was passed my way. And so I guess I'll find out what it is.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't. I can see why it was passed on my way.
I didn't put that up on the Facebook yet, which I can do that shortly. Anything? Well, I guess did you know about that artist before?
No, the only thing I really know about them was they. I don't know if we have a mutual acquaintance or what, but I just know it's a rather new project, and it wasn't just the project that was pointed out to me. I was kind of given a virtual like Federation net introduction to the person. Like so it was kind of a mutual acquaintance. It was like YouTube meet, and so apparently they're from France,
Ah,
and yeah, it's all I know is that it's a new project. This cat's from France, and we were kind of put in connection with each other through the Federation, and yeah, that's about that. and yeah, I hadn't checked. I may do because I quite enjoyed that, and I guess they had two pieces, so I may go ahead and check out the other one. But it's like that piece was put up 2 weeks ago, and the other piece I got of theirs was put up like 9 hours ago. So fresh off the press.
nice. Well, mine is not quite that fresh off the press. This was released in January. So this is a drummer that I think kind of made his name with Ike Turner.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So Bill Ray is his name, and if you go to his YouTube page, you can see that he's got a variety of different things. But one thing that he's been doing, I assume pandemic related, as he hasn't been touring and stuff, is he'll just do a live stream of like a drum session for like half an hour or so. And he released a album. I'm going to call it an album, but I mean, it's got 42 tracks on it. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
He released a double album / box set.
Right. And so, I guess I'll read just this little bit of what he says about this album. And you can go to billraydrums.bandcamp.com if you want to read the whole spiel. But there's like 6-7 paragraphs or something. But it says, it's a somewhat backwards way of making music, but I believe that every good song has a rhythm that is memorable. Maybe technology has homogenized the art of the music making, and I'm putting quotes because he put quotes. But I'm one holdout who believes in the old school way: play the drums, make a beat. So what this box set is it's all just his drum stuff, and so it lists in the track title the like beats per minute. The first one is 115, but that's not the highest. To see just glancing at here a 173, and then they go down to at least 75. So there's quite a bit of range in those 42 tracks, and they're released under the attribution non-commercial license. So basically, as long as you're making non-commercial tracks with it, then you can do what you want with these. So basically just don't sell it, but you can mix and match what you like. So anyway, this one that I've picked just due to the length is all the track titles have, like I said, the beats per minute in it, but so that it reads 94 BPM, Bridge of I. Right. So yeah, I mean, we had some. It's interesting, I think, because we had visuals that time. So there's this like interplay of like what's going on visually with what's going on musically. And I would say in both cases there, I don't mean this critically, but there's not really a whole lot going on. You know, it's like a camera pointing at a dude playing drums, and like that's that. But it's just kind of interesting in comparison to sort of like the static image videos, in that there is this, even though it's not a whole lot going on, there's this like extra visual element, which I think is kind of just interesting to think about.
Well, yeah. Not only that, but from what I could see, if you could throw like a link to the album in the chat, I was kind of noticing. I thought it was interesting that he kind of had, I guess he had a click track going, I imagine, and I think that's why he had the headphones on, and then it looked like he was multi-tracking on top of that, which yeah, I think even though there wasn't a lot going on, it seems like his whole intent was, here's something to build on, and on top of that, it's almost like a drum clinic at the same time, because you could see everything that was going on.
Yeah, and so I mentioned, if you go to the YouTube page, then you do see more videos, and actually some of those videos are very clearly like instructional videos. So that's kind of part of it. And I don't know, like, these aren't available on Bandcamp in any way that I can see. Like, maybe if you buy the digital album, you get the stems. But he does list at the bottom stem file listing: kick, snare top, snare bottom, tom 1, tom 2, overhead L, overhead R, hi-hat, ride cymbal, OTKR, that's the over the kit rear, and room front an inch away.
Yeah, it's and I imagine that's the case. You buy the album and you get all the stems with them, and it's just like, really, I feel where he's coming. That's kind of what I was trying to do a similar thing with Dynamic Evolution. The last A23P release actually was just kind of an approach of like, here are all the stems, Creative Commons. Don't just have this mixed down body of work, but actually presenting it in a way that it's meant to be studio friendly, and like rearrange and you know, apply your own production as necessary. I think that's a really, really cool idea. Which I guess, like, on more commercial ends, Rock Band had started doing something very similar, where they just batch out. You can get all these Rock Band tunes that just have all these like stems, basically, which makes them really, really, really remix and new production, etc. friendly. But yeah, that's cool. How'd you run into that cat?
You know, I just do a Some Rights Reserved Bandcamp search, and he popped up, and I started listening, and then I noticed that he was he had done a lot of his work with Ike Turner, and then and he won a Grammy for Rising with the Blues, actually. So yeah, it's interesting, and I don't know. There's two things that are interesting when you go to the website, because you can buy the track, and I'm guessing it's just the track, for $2 on Bandcamp. But if you go to his website, then it's $25, and I'm thinking that you don't get the stems with the Bandcamp release, but for the 25, that's where you get the stems. And what's also interesting here, and maybe the stems have a different license, but on the website it says, at any rate, they're honest, and this is continued. I don't know where it's continued from, but maybe like there's a story that goes through all the different tracks. I don't know, but or not really a story, but just sort of like commentary. It says, at any rate, they're honest. I play them to a click so you can cut them up, slide things around, snip out the parts you do or don't want, and maybe you'll make a hit record with these ideas. And then in parentheses, it says, if you make any money, send me some. And that kind of like contradicts his license on Bandcamp. And you see this all the time, unfortunately, where musicians will make statements that like their intent is not really the same as the license. And it's interesting. I don't really know what the fix is necessarily, but there's not a Creative Commons that says, if you make money, send me some of it. Like that's not part of them. So, you know, he's telling people that they can't make money with it, with the license, you know, and then he's saying, if you do make money, send me some. So it's just kind of a weird thing going on there.
Well, you know what I really think it is as a musician, you know, like realistically speaking, how granular are you going to get and your ability to identify things? And so like I know like when I release stuff like non-commercial, my basic thinking is if somebody betrays that wish, the chances of me being able to figure it out are next to none. But in the event, it's just like a backstop where it's like, hey, I made this request, and in the event that it is ever figured out, to what extent law matters, whatever that means, I've put this backstop there. And
yeah, back many moons ago, Nick Clark, a lawyer in DC area, he and I did a part of the Music Management show called the Lawcast, and I can't remember if it was something we wrote for the site or something we discussed on our podcast. But one of the things that we talked about was that, and this was actually what we decided when we were trying to pick the license for our for the Lawcast shows. And you know, sometimes it's kind of like your intent is more important than the actual legality. You know, it's like, so we chose the unported license, the Creative Commons unported license, rather than the one that's like directed at US law, because I think people get confused about like, well, if it's in the US, does it only apply in the US? And we were just like, we don't want people to be confused. And we just, you know, we kind of want people to just use it if they feel like they want to use it. And so that's why we did that. Now, we may be in a situation where, you know, with the US law, that was an easy decision for us to make. You know, there may be other jurisdictions where picking something specific to the jurisdiction makes more sense. I don't know, but you know, that was just that. But our decision was like not one based on the legality. It was one based on just communicating with the potential users. So that is, you know, definitely something that people do. But the thing about this is that I guess it's the thing that I don't like about what he has done here is that on the Bandcamp page, he doesn't say that. And this is, I think, a bigger problem than people doing like sort of like having commentary about their licenses. I mean, we do that on the Bloxonic site, as we say, these are our default license is non-commercial license, and then we say it is a non-commercial license, but if you're doing a DJ show or if you're on a commercial radio, stuff like that, like we're giving you, that appears on like all the pages on Black Sonic, like that little addendum. But like if you're putting addendum in like one little place, first of all, people aren't going to find it. I mean, again, it's not really like a legal thing. It's just like people are confused. And this happens with net labels all the time and bands that get picked up by net labels, because the net label will release it under Creative Commons, but then the band won't. And it's like, what is even the intention here? Like, does the band actually want this to be under Creative? Like, it's just a hard thing to like wrap your head around. So I think ideally, Bill, if you're listening, I would just ask that you put it on the Bandcamp page too. You got like 6 paragraphs there, bud. Just put it on there too, and that way people won't be confused about what's going on. And again, it may be that the stems that he's releasing those under a more
liberal deal,
a more liberal license, but there's no indication of the license on his site, and there's no indication that the stems are available under a different license on the Bandcamp site either. So there's just a little bit of confusion about what's going up. Now, to his credit, he does say, if you have a request to ask him, and I think that's a pretty common thing for Creative Commons artists to do. They say, hey, we're releasing this to everyone, to the entire planet for non-commercial purposes. If you want to do something commercial, just ask us.
Ask. Yep.
It's like, and I think this is confusing for the general public too. Is that in it, because that's always an option, and people don't get that. And so like, even if bands are like, well, yeah, of course people are going to ask if they want to use something commercial, but I think that's a very like, corporate is like kind of a negative word, but that's a very like commercial / corporate thing to just understand that, Nissan or Lenovo or whoever, when they want music, they're going to expect to have to like ask for permission and pay for that permission. Like those companies expect that, but like a local mom and pop shop may just see, hey, it's non-commercial, we can't use it. And that may not be the case. So I guess any musicians that are listening, if you are in a situation where, you'd be happy for certain commercial uses to be used and you are using a non-commercial license, just add that little like, hey, contact us and talk to us. Because people don't get it. I mean, that's all there is to it, and like, I don't, there are so many things in the world that need to be fixed. And that is one that is just not going to get fixed. Like the whole, like people understanding like Creative Commons licenses. I've given up on that years ago.
Yeah. Though, to that end though, like I was saying, even on my own ends, like I really kind of looked at it as the corporate music world is going to kind of do whatever it does. And it'll lynch stuff left and right. It'll do whatever it wants. And when it gets caught, it'll tell Vanilla Ice to go, hey, say there was an extra ding. Queen's went ding, 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 but yours went ding, 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 ding. And so I kind of figure it's for those moments that it's like, okay, somebody's making a bunch of money. They didn't ask for anything. They're pulling a Vanilla Ice. And when those things happen, just to have something there that goes, hey, quit acting like you totally made something up. Don't pull a funky drummer and here's this guy that did this beat. Everybody's using it. It's making rounds of cash and nobody's giving this guy anything. Don't do
it. I think that, I mean, the whole like artist taking things is that's a different topic than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, things being used in movies and commercials, like not musicians reworking things, but other people just straight up using the music.
Yeah.
like, hey, I am running a coffee shop and I want to play Creative Commons music because I don't want to, pay BMI. Now the whole like recording thing versus the written stuff and like with the like BMI and ASCAP and also that's like a topic that we're gonna bore people with tears if we start talking about that. But I mean, like, that's another thing that is just confusing about all this. But and I guess ideally, when there is a singer-songwriter, they would say, both the written song and the recording are under Creative Commons. But generally speaking, what people do is they put the performance under Creative Commons. And like David Rovick's very popular quote unquote Creative Commons artist, but he's registered with BMI, and so if his stuff is getting played at bars and stuff, he's getting probably a very small check, but a check from BMI for that kind of stuff. So it's just a weird sort of world out there, and I just think that probably over communicating is for the best. I mean, obviously you want the perfect amount of communication, but that's a hard thing to understand where that line is. But I would just say over communicating is, if you want your music to be used, to be listened to be played, that over communicating is better than under communicating. That's what I would say, because people do not want to get sued. So in any case, it's probably time for another track.
Yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I was doing kind of a double header. Terp Psychor here, but this one is a bit longer, so I'm going to cut this one off at the 5-minute mark.
Cool.
Now,
Sweet.
I'm not sure when I fade a YouTube video volumes out on my end, does that translate over?
Oh, I think it does. I don't think that was something that you could do before, but I don't know if that's a Jitsi change or a like YouTube embed change. Yeah, I've never tried it.
Yeah.
But I noticed the fade that time though.
Oh, okay, you did
I
notice.
think. Yeah, I wasn't really paying a lot of attention, but yeah, it seemed to fade out.
Yeah, it wasn't just a hard stop. Okay.
Yeah. So this is another well, so this is kind of an interesting one. I think we're gonna call it a 2021 release because I don't think the original was released under Creative Commons. This is one of those things where the band released it and then later it was re-released under Hypnotic Dirge, re-released on January 15th. I don't know if there was anything different about the re-release, but there was a I think the first one might have been a digital. Actually, this is released as a 6-panel digipack, so I guess digipack is still digital. I don't know. I don't really know what a digipack is. Do you know what a digipack is?
I think it's exactly what you said. It's just a digital release.
Okay. I don't know what the panel. I'll have to look this up. But in any case, it is 5 minutes and 26 seconds long. So we'll just let it play through here, I guess. And this is Nordic Winter is the name of the band. And this is a Shadow's Veil is the name of the track. All right. I faded it manually. Did it work?
It did. It
Sweet.
did. That's
Well,
a confirmed on that. Seems to work.
yeah. Yeah. Then the question is, does it turn the volume back up on the next embed, or does it locally save that? I guess we'll find out when you play your next one, or when.
No, I want to say that it does go ahead and it just puts it back.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean,
yeah. But I'll find out for certain here right now.
yeah.
You know, just real quickly on that other video, I was thinking to myself too when they showed their logo, how so many black metal bands they've adopted this weird it's like black metal graffiti. I don't know. It looks like roots or trees, and and I'm like, man, the stuff is harder to read than a lot of graffiti. I'm just like, it's that sick.
At this point, it's just it's like if your metal band logo is readable, then like you're clearly not hardcore enough. I mean, like it's just like it's a joke at this point. You have to make it illegible. So I mean,
but alrighty, yeah. I'm on this next one. I don't know anything about it at all. So
surely you have like a artist name or a track title. You must know something.
I do. It's Faster Than the Speed of Light by Electron 7.
Okay.
So see where this goes. All right, so that is confirmed on. You do have to turn the volume back on.
Ah, okay.
So that's a confirmed on that. I was kind of digging that Electron 7 though.
Oh
I
yeah, for sure.
didn't know what to expect, but I was kind of digging on it. Something weird I've noticed. Never, metal's always had its thing, but it's something I've kind of noticed with Creative Commons music in general. For whatever reason, which I guess I could think of a few reasons, but for whatever reason, a lot of the occult crowd seems to be more hip to Creative Commons than I don't know. I don't know why. That seems to be kind of a thing.
Yeah, I would say that the occult thing is maybe a little bit different than the pagan stuff, though. I mean, I think that occult sort of like is like supernatural, but like not religious, whereas the pagan stuff is like clearly religious.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, I understand, but yeah, it's kind of because like I do think there's multiple things going on. There's like Scandinavian bands or people that want to be Scandinavian or whatever. I mean, like there's like a Mexican band that does like a lot of like songs about Thor and stuff that's Creative Commons, and it's like that's cool. I mean, if that's what they want to do, but I kind of wish that like I guess I don't know what those members what their heritage is. Maybe they're like some Scandinavian dudes that moved to Mexico. They don't look like it. I've seen their band pictures. They look like what you expect people from Mexico to look like. But it's like from some places like maybe your mythologies and history is just not very metal. And it's like, if you want to do the Scandinavian thing, that's cool. But like, if you're a Mexican metal band, you have the Aztecs right there. Why the hell are you not doing that? Like, seriously, like it's literally right there. Like, and so like, and the reason there's this Creative Commons band called Verlust, which I don't know if that's a translation of anything, but I think they were one of the bands for I can't remember if it's called West or Pacific, but that Dom picked for one of his bands, his 5 nominees for his region last year. And they're from Hawaii. Hawaii, not a place known for its metal, for probably obvious reasons. But it's like, you've got volcanoes pretty metal. And like they're doing it. They're like, they got a volcano on their album cover. And it's like, you know what? If you're a Hawaiian metal band, that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be singing songs about Thor. That's my take.
Yeah, you know what it's just kind of like how, I don't know, a bunch of people got overly into Japanime, and it's just there's all these people that it's like, man, you're not from Japan. Quit trying to act like you're from Japan. That I think a similar thing to some degree like hit like metal culture, where they're just like, well, it's all about Vikings, and we gotta be into Odinistic and just act like you're Norse. And I look at it as, with metal, I look at it as akin to like the whole Japanime weeboo thing, where it's just like, man, I don't know, it's whatever. It's some kind of weird fashion trend.
Yeah.
If we still had shopping malls, I would probably blame Hot Topic.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. And I don't really disagree, but it is a little bit different because like one is like a product of like the last 30, 40 years with Japanese animation.
Yeah, for sure.
And one is like, a historical like mythology.
Yep.
And it's like everybody has that. It's like it's like I don't know. It's and it's hard for me now to have a lot of perspective on it because like half of Minnesota is like of Norwegian descent. And like so quick aside, but probably a lot of people don't know this, but it wasn't until the 1950s or 60s when they started building the interstate system and the US highway system more that people actually stopped speaking Norwegian in Minnesota. Yeah, so like people literally did not speak English here until the 1950s. And also there were literally not roads. I mean, not in Minneapolis specifically. Like Minneapolis has been a city for a long time, but in northern Minnesota, there were legit not roads. And what people did is they would go down the shoreline in boats, and they would just go to other towns where people spoke Norwegian, and like probably like from Duluth, and then stuff would like come into Duluth, and then somebody would speak Norwegian and English, and things would spread out from there. But like and there's not a whole ton of people that live in northern Minnesota, but like the people that live there, they all spoke Norwegian, and the way they got around was via boat on Lake Superior, and not in the winter because that mofo is frozen over in the winter. I mean, you could just like you could bike on. You can literally bike on it. They have bike races across Lake Superior in the winter. And like starting in Duluth, and like Duluth is like or close to Duluth. Duluth is on the southern part of the of Superior. Other fun fact about Superior that actually the surfing there is pretty good. Now, there's a few caveats to that. It's a lake. So like there's a certain amount of like what does good mean? But I mean, people that have gone there that like surf other places, they're like actually like impressed. Like you're not gonna get like 40 feet waves. That's not happening. But it's cold. And it will be snowing, and people will be surfing in Lake Superior. That's definitely a thing. So if you don't want to go to Hawaii to surf, maybe Duluth is
a great
place to do it. So, but be prepared to have a dry suit, not a wet suit. Otherwise, hypothermia is a real concern. So anyway, I don't know where I got to from there. I think my bottle and a half of Prosecco might be kicking in. But all right, I got Pelican Osman, I think is the name of this band. Okay, I was like, I don't remember the name of this band. Why did I listen to them so much? But now that I'm looking at their Bandcamp page, I recognize them. And I don't really know much of anything about this band. But this video looks pretty cool. It's not off their latest album, which is 10 tracks. They're a Portland, Oregon band. I can drop the track in, or the album in the YouTube there. But yeah, this one is I guess 8 years old, over 8 years old at this point. It's called The Seven Seas by okay. The band name is Pelican Osman, and I gotta say, a track titled The Seven Seas from a band named Pelican something. I'm digging that. I like the synergy there. So I don't. I'm saying Osman. It's Ossman. Maybe it's Usman. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna remember to turn this track up here in just a second.
Seven seas. Oh God, is this really happening? What do you need? Just a piece of concrete to rest my head. But the feast is lavish, somehow she let me know this new profession made me high and low we're still like my house is gone, and low we're still where they all gone. For the sake of these, I take it all on. The seven seas, my enemies have all withdrawn. But the song is sweet, coming from the bitter beast. The breath is warm, coming from the recently deceased. I think of you like all day. I think of you like every day. I think of you like all day. I think of you like every day. He awakes crying, he says he sees eyes in the walls. We don't even know who we are, or where we've been, or where we're going. I think of you all day. I think of you every day. I think of you all. The seven seas. Oh God, is this really happening? What do you need? Just a piece of concrete to rest my head. Cause the feast is lavish, somehow she let me know this new profession lead me high and low we're still like my house is gone, and low we're still like where they all gone. I think of you all day. I think of you like every day. I think of you like all day. I think of you like every day.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who the members of this band were, because their Bandcamp doesn't say. I'm guessing that there's a husband-wife duo involved. However,
That's
could
gonna be
be,
my guess.
yeah, I could be a brother sister or something. I don't know. But there's D Curran and Hannah Curran. But actually, and there's Jen Curran. So maybe there's a wife and a sister. I don't know. Maybe they're Mormons. Maybe they're all one big happy family. I don't know. I really don't know. But so Hannah Curran only appears on track 3 on the latest album. It would appear, and is not considered a band member as it is featuring Hannah Curran. And I don't know who Dee Curran is, but there's also a Jen Curran. Yeah. So
Hey, you know, like you said, maybe it's just Mormon.
maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so they were on my top 10, which, by the way, I don't know if you've been on when I've talked about this before, but I signed up for Tweakly. It's like $2 for a lifetime membership. You can pay more if you want, but that's like the minimum. And I used to do this a while back. I don't know, it's been probably a couple of years now, where there was a free service. There was Joda FM at one point, and then I don't know, I think it was something else at some other point that would take your top 5 or top 10. At first it was just 5. I think that's back when Twitter was 140 characters. But then I can't remember what the old version. I think the old one, what it would do is it would post as many artists as it could, as long as, you know, like, okay, if this Zavleg band that we were talking about, I'm not even going to spend the next 30 minutes reading out the real band name, but like, if they're on your like top artists of the week, like you're only getting one. Actually, I'm going to do an experiment here on Twitter. How many characters is their band name? Oh, I clicked on something that I don't think I meant to. I'm going to try this again. I got to click happy. Okay, the band name under the current 280 characters, not the original 140 characters that Twitter has. You cannot tweet this band's name. That's how long their band name is. You cannot tweet it. And so, and even just reading out their abbreviation, I think would be a frustrating. Trying to pronounce that would be a frustrating. Anyway, most people call them Zavleg. It starts with an X, so pronounce that however the hell you feel like it. But it's Zavleg. We were talking about in the chat their logo, and now it's all a joke. They're kind of a grindcore super group, but in any case, the way that this thing would work at some point is as many artist names as you could fit. So if you were like, if they were all one character band names, you have commas in there, and so you could fit like, 100, and so there's a comma and then a space. So 100, and we'll just say 150 and make the math easy. So you could fit like 30 band names, somewhere in that range. But anyway, this new Tweakly thing, it's tops out at 10 artists. I don't know what they do if you have an artist. I should do an experiment, and I should find this band, and I should play them enough to get included in the top 10 and see what the hell this thing does once it runs out of characters. But in any case, my thing now, like there for a while, I was playing stuff that was on cchits.net, but I don't know that the website actually works anymore. I know they're working on a new version, but in any case, the top 15 doesn't change often enough to be very interesting. So I just once I did this, I was like, I'll just play songs from those bands. And then, so that's how Pelican Osman got on there. And I don't remember if I had a point. But yeah, so I don't generally know a lot about these bands that get in my top 10 because I just listen to new stuff that comes out. Now, like Cloud Warmer had that new album, and I do happen to know a bit about Cloud Warmer. And then another one, and Bill Ray, I've known about. So I mean, occasionally I know a bit about, and like Nordic Winter is on Hypnotic Dirge, which I know about a bit about. And then Me As In You is Mike's at Black Sonic, his new. He changed his stage name. Well, actually, as he has a new stage name, so his MG stage name is still going to be where he does remixes of things, but new material, or like completely new material, be Me As In You. But he doesn't have any. This is his first release under that name, and he doesn't have any stuff. I guess I could have played an MG track if I had thought about it, but I didn't. But anyway. That's what I'm going to continue to do, because assuming I can actually find tracks, it may come a time when I'll play stuff that's obscure enough that I won't be able to find material on YouTube. Cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't think it's particularly hard to find. I guess if you don't know a lot of Creative Commons musicians, then it could be hard. But if you're not limited by date, I don't think it's particularly hard to find stuff. That's that the artist has put some stuff under Creative Commons. Whether or not you can find a citation of that on YouTube is a whole nother question. This is totally beside the anything I've been talking about, but I just noticed while I was talking that this plastic container. You want to take a stab at where it was made?
The obvious first guess would be China.
Well, no. Well, obviously, I wouldn't be duh.
You wouldn't be asking if it was China.
Yeah.
So, no, you got me.
Dude, it was made in the UAE.
Okay.
That's a weird one.
Random.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, maybe it does make sense, because plastic is a petroleum product. They got oil there. So why ship that oil somewhere else when you can just make the petroleum products right there in the UAE? I say good on them. In a way, it's more environmentally friendly, because it's not going somewhere else first.
As far as they knew, a lot of the thing with the Middle East is while they had all these oil reserves and such there, they didn't have a lot of refineries there. So don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure for some reason I had come across that at some point where it was they have to export it out because they can't refine it there.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Couldn't say one way or another. I wonder if there's something that has to do with the desert situation that makes refineries tough to build, or it's I don't know really what goes into at some point I assume there was a lot of manual labor involved, but I don't know in 2021 if that's still the case. But being in any sort of factory, it's got to be hot as balls in the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
I've been to the UAE, I've been to Dubai, and it is hot. I know that's shocking breaking news there that it's hot in the Middle East, but I grew up in Alabama, and I was just yeah, it's hot as balls in Dubai. We were only there at night too, so I can only imagine how hot it is during the day.
So was Dubai as crazy as it's hyped up to be? Crazily bizarre.
Well, so we weren't there for very long. I went to South Africa for the 2010 World Cup, and we had just enough layover. We could have stayed out longer than we did, but I think that maybe the train stopped running, and then the mall closed. Our flight wasn't until the next morning, but it was we didn't know the city, and we didn't know how to get back other than the train. But so we trained into the city, and we walked around the it's been passed up by malls in China as far as the biggest mall in the world. But we went to, and this was before I lived in Minneapolis, home of, well, strictly speaking, it's in Bloomington, but home of what at one point was the largest mall in the world, the Mall of America. But it got passed up by this Dubai mall. And they had like rock climbing in it and like a waterfall. And I mean, like there's like an entire amusement park. I mean, it's small, but an entire amusement park in the Mall of America. And I think a lot of that, I've never been to the like Chinese malls, but I just kind of assume that like once you're packing like a physical location that's like that large, you probably have some sort of other attraction. Because who wants to just like walk around for like miles of like shopping store? I mean, you know, it's just like what was the point at that point? But and it's interesting now because the whole like Mall of America complex has like, there's like now like hotels like across the street from it that have like water parks and stuff. Like it's just become like this whole like thing, you know, but it's not like part of the Mall of America, like strictly speaking, but it like it obviously is.
It's almost become like the Disneyland, Disney World
right?
area.
Yeah, it's interesting. But what the most interesting thing I would say, or the most memorable thing, I guess, about the trip to Dubai was and I don't know exactly. I mean, I assume that, you know, this is like the official English translation, you know, and the speaker on the trains in Dubai. But the guy had like a British accent. But when the name of the tower, which is where the train, we got off at the tower name, but he, you know, and he would be like talking all like you know, London English and sounding all fancy. But then when he said the name of the tower, it was like he was from Texas, like the Boorage Tower. me and my brother were like, is that how you're supposed to say it? Like, it's so weird. Like, it was like legit. Like, I don't know if the guy was like trying to like say it in like Arabic and was like failing, or like I don't know. It was weird though, because the dude was like clearly like a native English speaker, or like incredibly fluent English speaker, if not native. And then like he gets to this name and it just sounded so, it did not sound Arabic to me, you know, not speaking Arabic, but yeah, it was just like, I just kind of felt like if this is how the Arabics say it, there should probably be more vowels in our translation, because the way that it's spelled is Burraj, if I remember correctly. And I'm like, you know what? You are holding all of those letters a lot longer than I feel like you should be. I gotta see what this. But I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time where stuff gets like gets transliterated poorly. Oh, it's not even, it's okay, so there's not even any vowels. It's like, it's just Burj. That's how you spell it. It's the Burj Tower. But this guy was getting a lot of love out of those, like the U, the R, and the J were all really like, well, I guess the B is not like a particularly hard, so you can kind of hold that like barrage. I mean, it was just, dude, like if you ever get the chance to go and get on the train and listen, like maybe they have the same guy, because like I said, like, you know, I'm going to a part of the world I've never been to. And the thing that was most memorable to me is this guy on the train and the way he said this thing, which was just bananas. So, yeah, that's what I would say. If you go to Dubai, make sure you take the train somewhere. And maybe it's not the same guy still on there, because that was, you know, 11 years ago at this point. Of course, I mean, it might be. I mean, like, if your train, like, destinations haven't changed, then, like, why do you need to re-record the station stops? I don't know. But anyway, I guess this mall is just called the Dubai Mall, which, I mean, fair enough, very descriptive. So, yeah, it's like the Mall of America. It's like, I mean, not really. Nobody from Texas is going to this mall. Like, that's not how it works. It's the Mall of Bloomington. That's what it is. We have other malls in this metro area. It's like we don't have one mall for the whole country, but I mean, it was the biggest. So I guess we can all dream, right? So anyway, I believe we should probably call it quits. But
yeah.
You have one more track if you wanna play.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, sure. What I'll go with here is I was kind of interested. One of my most favorite bands of all time, and you kind of had to be there to see them. And they were this band called Extreme Turbo Smash, and for some reason my brain thought about them, and I was like, I wonder if their stuff is Creative Commons. From trying to find them, all I could find are some videos of them, and apparently they never released anything. And from the best I could make out, I don't even think they're together anymore. So I figured I would just throw up a little bit of a rest in peace, Extreme Turbo Smash. They were a grindcore furry band, and the Panda, who was the singer, was probably one of the closest things to a G.G. Allen I've ever seen. And actually, at one of the Extreme Turbo Smash shows I was at, accidentally ended up knocking the Panda out. Me and a friend of mine.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we were standing outside the pit, and the Panda would jump off the stage like they were crazy. And we had grabbed my friend's girlfriend, and we basically missiled her at the Panda, and we knocked out the Panda, and it stopped the show. But the Panda was totally cool when he got back up. He was just like, "What happened?" but anyhow, I figured I'd throw up this little bit of a ode to Extreme Turbo Smash. Hopefully the sound isn't too bad. They were a great band, and apparently they're all done. But they'd gotten banned from a lot of venues in Denver because they would play, and then the whole place would be wrecked after they had played.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to get banned.
All
And that was a small ode to the Turbo Smash.
Yeah, they quit their Twitter back in 2012.
Yeah. I think they really were. I have a feeling like a flash in the pan because it was. I'll never forget. Like, man, one of the venues they had played, this venue Benders, which was one of the main punk venues of Denver, and I was friends with the owners there. And Extreme Turbo Smash played first. And the place was just such a wreck afterwards. Like, I've never seen a venue owner so pissed off in my life.
They do have a fair few videos that people have uploaded onto YouTube, it seems. So if people want to find some more, then I mean, like, I don't know, 10 maybe. I mean, like, that's just what I'm actually, there's more than that. So I'm gonna say 20. but yeah, so people want more.
But they were an experience, and I have no idea how. I feel like that video, it's like, oh, okay, at least the sound quality was decent, and it kind of shows somewhat what their shows were like. But it's like, yeah, their heads would be they'd be attacking each other, they'd be attacking the crowd, like their heads would be getting spun on backwards. I don't know how they could tell what they were playing half the time.
Maybe it was just a big Milli Vanilli situation.
No, it definitely wasn't that. but I think a lot of it was just the shows would get so chaotic that it didn't really matter that they weren't playing correctly.
Yeah, they there's two videos uploaded from March 16th, 2008. Oh, no, more than that. There's at least 3 videos uploaded from March 16th, 2018. And then 2018 was also the last time that they posted to their Facebook. So yeah, definitely looks like 2018 was the last time anything happened.
The Goodbye Extreme Turbo Smash. The greatest grindcore metal band of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Beware the wrath of the panda, as I used to say.
Did you? You probably did, but did you listen to the Rainbow Mermaid Death Cult that got nominated this year?
That album was superb. That guy is brilliant.
Dude. I don't think that's nearly as good as Glitter Grind or Flower Violence, which were 2 of their earlier albums. I mean, there were a little bit of deviations with like what I think the internet knows as tropical goth, a little bit of inclusion in there in that album. But to me, I don't know. It just and some of this is that nothing is ever going. Well, I'm not going to say nothing, but nothing from them is likely to ever give me the experience that when I listened to Flower Violence for the first time that gave me. And I was just completely like, holy shit, what is happening right now? But I feel like that Glitter Grind kind of like stood on its own merits as well. And I don't know. I didn't dislike Rainbow Mermaid Death Cult, but I just don't feel like the tropical goth stuff was, I mean, like, so if you listen to Flower Violence, there is like legit hip hop going on. And like nothing feels, I mean, it's weird as hell, but nothing feels forced.
Yeah.
And the tropical goth stuff just seemed a little like it wasn't quite integrated as well as the other stuff. I mean, like, I don't know, like maybe that's like a sound with the steel drums and stuff that they're still sort of like working on, and like the steel drum thing will be like, I think there's like a whole reggae thing that, you know, is kind of related to that sound that could be happening here. You know, like bands like the Bad Brains. I mean, it's not grindcore, but like that sort of like rock with reggae thing. That can definitely happen. I've got a cramp here. Oh man. Whew.
Don't die.
My hamstring just tightened up on me there. That's kind of weird, but yeah, a sign I need to drink some more fluids. But yeah, so I mean, I think that the whole rock reggae thing, that's definitely a thing to be explored. So I'm hopeful that they'll sort of like mature that sound on the next album, and it will be even better. Because I mean, even though like I enjoyed it, I was a little bit disappointed based on their other one. So I would definitely say go back and listen to the
the
other two albums.
The other ones, I'll have to check those other ones out because he really reminded me a lot of like some kind of like whatchamacallit, like it was like Mr. Bungle meets like I'm forgetting the name of the band. They had some stupid song about Clarissa. It's explaining things. I can't
explains it all.
yeah. Man, I can't believe I'm forgetting their name, but whatever the case, I was super impressed.
Yeah, and I think anybody watching that's familiar, I think the Mr. Bungle comparison is apt. I mean, not to say that it's like this. I mean, it's like they're. If you wanted to like put them in one genre, it's a grindcore band. So like
mindless self-indulgence. That was
yes.
It was like Mr. Bungle meets mindless self-indulgence.
100%. Yeah. Mindless self-indulgence, I think, actually has a they have a CC album or a track or something. They experimented with that. I don't know if it's one of those things where they retracted it later, but I'm pretty sure if it wasn't the band Mindless Self-Indulgence, then maybe it was one of their artists that did something. But I think they might have released a single or something. I remember that coming up at some point. But in any case, very apt. So in any case, I probably should go try to walk off whatever's going on with my hamstring here and get some water. So next couple of weeks I will be here, and then the 2 weeks after that I will almost certainly not be here. So Caleb and Potsy both have upload permissions. I think Mark might too, but anyway, hopefully someone here with upload permissions, and we can figure out how to share the file otherwise. But that has proved problematic in the past. I mean, it's a several 100 megabyte file, so it's not like you can just email it.
Yep.
Anyway, man, I hope to see you next week, and have a good one.
Yep.
Right.
You too, man. Later. Ciao.